Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Formula Racing TV. Welcome back to Assetto Corsa Competizione. As we begin race week number 5 on season 23 of championships on Assetto Corsa Competizione console. And tonight we're starting a race week at Zandvoort circuit that next weekend will host the Formula 1 Dutch Grand Prix. We're here in the old layout before the works to the banking corners, especially turn 4 and turn 14. But it will be, like as always, a really extraordinary evening of action here in the Dutch circuit, because it will be tight, it will be old school, but there will be no mistakes allowed as we are now in the midway point of the championship. The roundabout and we'll start to do selection for who will be competing for the top spot and who will stay in the midfield. I'm Andrea Mattavelli, and I'm glad to welcome you back to another FRL TV streaming. Hope you all kept in, because tonight we'll be having some great fun here at Zandvoort. And I speak when there is only 1 minute left of the free practice. And we see, of course, Andrea Marcella now in the pits with the fastest time of them all, 1:56.3 for the Italian driver on the Porsche, who leads by 0.8 of a second on Alexander Fuchs, second in the Audi R8, number 18. Then in third place we see new face. Not really something we are familiar to see on the top. We have Correa, then was a fourth position. Michel van der Waal is for now fifth fastest, even though over 2.6 seconds behind Marcella. Schumacher is sixth, then Lincoln, Tomei Ola, Rashidov, the leader of the championship. Remember, the Russian is ahead of 19 points against the 78 of Geoffrey Godfrey and the 78 of Kalle Pulkkinen. Also 77, Brandon Glover, 71 of Pietro Micheletti and Andrew Tulloch. So Rashidov is the man to watch alongside Will Freeman, who is ahead of him in track, behind him just by less than a tenth of a second. On the table sheets then, Pietro Micheletti in 11, ahead of Kozut, Keller, Brendan Glover, Samuel Perfido, Mike Austin, Adam Schape. Then we have Fontaine already in the pits, Geoffrey Godfrey already in the pits, as now the checker flag is falling down for the end of free practice session. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a rain situation, because it is rain before the free practice, so the track has stayed wet for most of the time. Now they're starting to try some dry tires times, but who knows what will be the conditions for qualifying for the race. So it is really tight, as you can see. And honestly, I'm hoping for some rain, because we all need some rain these days, and even seeing some little drops will elevate the challenge of this 4.2 kilometers circuit located near the sea, of course, of the North Sea of Zandvoort. And then there's 40 corners, and we have a challenge that will introduce you shortly. But now it is time for qualifying. 20 minutes for all the drivers to set a lap time and try to compete for pole position. I've seen now some first drivers out of the track, one of which is Wojciech Heijmans. It will be a home race for Heijmans and also for other drivers here competing, like of course Van der Waal, as I said, also with Richard German and others. So let's hope for some good action tonight. Here is Richard German in the Ferrari. Then we see Kalugin, the Russian Oli McLaren as well. Here for now, ahead of Wood. Then it's done in one of the two Lexus alongside Ola. Then we see Gordon Brown now out from a few seconds on the track on the Lamborghini, trying to put some good impressions, some good results under his belt to try compete again in the silver category. Remember, this is tier 1, so will be pro and silver all together. While Michel van der Waal is trying to warm up his tires and brakes. The track is dry, but it's not has not too much grip. It is still green in terms of grip, so it will be a session where everyone will be trying to improve lap after lap after lap, and track positioning will be everything, especially in the last minute of this session. Mike Costa is one of the first to start his first flying lap. The British driver on the Porsche is leading one of the BMWs. I believe it's Correa. Yes, it is. A Portuguese one. Following him shortly. And you can already see by the first lap, by the first images that we have on the track, that this driver will be having tough life on the asphalt today. Even here, Mike Costa with some kind of oversteer, Correa having some little understeer. The track has not too much grip, so the drivers will have to settle themselves, try to find some fillings, some speed there, and then try to push really hard if they wanted to set a fast lap time. But I believe this first half of this qualifying will be dedicated not more like a free practice, but more like a pre-qualifying, waiting for the extra grip to come out. Mike Costa 138.6. And Glinkin is right ahead of him by 3/10 of a second. Hadley is third. Dunn is fourth for now. Lintonbank goes fast at 137.8. It will be same scenario repeating over the next couple of minutes, because the track will get more and more grip, so will get more faster, and the drivers will decrease their lap times. Marcos is 8th. Richard Gierman is third ahead of Kalugin and Glenkin. Keller in the Lamborghini goes fastest, 137.8. Of course, still early stages of qualifying, especially in this mixed condition. Alexander Fuchs now in the Audi. Audi number 18 out of the final corner across the line. Let's see what his first time lap. It's a 137.2 ahead of Gianelli, ahead of Brown. So you know already how the story will go if you see, and you knew exactly how this was going to happen. While some drivers, some other drivers, as you can see, are all staying really comfy in their seat boxes, comfy in their pit lane, waiting for the track to get more speed and get more grip here, so they can push straight from the beginning and not try to do some exercises to get on line on the tarmac here, the asphalt. Meanwhile, all the others are for now still trying to settle time. Linton Bell now moves up into second place in the McLaren. You see Kalugin in 6th ahead of Dan and Keller. It will be the same scenario. Let's see if there are some drivers seeing, some drivers already saying hi from the chat. Let's see It's Genman Audio and still no internet. That's a really shame, Genman. What happened in your hometown? And really, that's a really a great problem for you. And I can get a 37.8 here. That will be place fifth. Well, but this is because the trap is not grippier, my friend. So you would have done like a 39.8. No offense at all. And then we have Martin Kozut to say hello and good luck, everyone. Thank you to Martin Kozut. It's a TV camera for you, even though for now you're just behind the pile of cars, still waiting to rev up the edges. Stefano Giannelli is in first place, 4 tenths ahead of Fuchs. Then Milton Bell is third. Brown is fourth, but again, once again, cannot remind you enough. It is still a provisional situation based on the grip on the track. Who was wet before in free practice, and now it's still very much green in terms of grip and tarmac. So take those tires, take those positions with a pinch of salt, because I believe it will really go upside down and change again and again during the course of the qualifying. Stefano Giannelli now is in the third 14. And he goes flat out behind the Lamborghini, which I believe it is from Brown. Or it is... yes, it is Brown. Brown stays in 6th place, while Giannelli stays in first. We are 1 minute 36.7. Mike Ostel, one of the drivers that started this qualifying by being one of the drivers who exited first at the pit lane. Mike Ostel out of the final corner. There's still yellow flags for the drivers who are in the pit lane, waiting for the moment. Also does not improve. Also our drivers handling now in the other Porsche. And behind it we see a Lamborghini, which is of Linton Bell. And look at the Linton Bell improves to second. Handley improves to 9th place. Giannelli for now stays in first. But the question is, when will the track get that grip situation to justify all the others exiting and trying to set the lap time? Meanwhile, we'll see now Van der Waal behind another Ferrari. I believe it is of Marco Lino. Michel Van der Waal, one of the top prospects in the silver category this year. And with a really good livery on that Ferrari, which reminds me like a Van Amersfoort Racing, which is in Formula 2 and Formula 3, alongside some junior series, alongside the continent and the world. Michel Van der Waal now following Marco Lino on the line. Lino does not improve, Van der Waal does improve. Not yet, they will retry again. We were behind in car number 57. It is Petro Foster does not improve. But Seb Fontaine does improve and jumps in 6th place ahead of Correa, Gilbert Brown and all of the others. Great job by the South African. While, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the last 10 minutes of qualifying session. Stefano Giannelli is still leading, but watch out for Alexander Fuchs, who just put himself at only 67 thousandths of a second behind Giannelli. It's not 6.7, it's 6,067. While Correa moves at the top of the field, 136.690 for the Portuguese driver in the BMW pole number 22. Right now, you can see all the tracks are going, all the cars are going out of the track. The ones that were left in the pit lane, maybe a couple of few who are waiting just to have a good track position and some good space to really push. But now this is where things start to get really, really tasty. Let's see one last attempt to measure Van der Waal before jumping to the other group. Van der Waal in the final corner, turn number 14. And Van der Waal now across the line. Does improve? No, he stays at 15th place. So let's go to the guys who will now begin their first blind lap of tonight's qualifying. And this is a group where all of the top tiers are present, because we have Glover, we have Machado, Prentice, Ola, we have Kyle Pulkin, who is third in the championship, Jack Prentice, forced to be recorded. We have also Kozuter, Geoffrey Godfrey, Will Friedman, neither miss Emmanuel Rashidov. And then we have just to say welcome back to Morgan Grace, who takes back the wheel of the Audi number 14 after a hard period like hell, because he was really super busy at work and couldn't take part to any race. But now he's back and he wanted to get up to speed quickly in the Audi R8 whilst waiting for his turn to get up to speed, as we would expect. So all the others are already beginning to push with the cars. We have Emmanuel Machado, Portuguese, on the Honda N6, trying to push this car to its absolute limits. Now Machado taking the slipstream of Kozut. He's doing so far so good. And Emmanuel Machado alongside Kozut. He's out at the straight. Let's see which time they debut on. Kozut P15, Machado does better, P14. Well, we see now. And here comes Andrea Marcel 156.0. We just said to everyone else play time is over. 1 minute is Mario Rashidov, is third fastest between Fuchs and Correa. Our cars will be seeing the line now. Pietro Micheletti begins now. Well, Walter Hageman is P14. Also, watch out for Pietro Micheletti, because he's also forced to be reckoned within the Taco Tuesday Championship, because it's P15, 71 points alongside Altitude, and he still has a chance, really high chances to compete against Rashidov, Godfrey, Putin and Glover for the top three in the standings. We were just Godfrey, speaking of contenders, has put himself into fourth place in the Ford Mustang. As you can see, really trying to get a good line, which is not easy, because especially here, you turn 10 before the chicane. It is really hard to hold the grip of the tires, especially those behind in the exit of the corner. So you really want to keep it steady. Also watch out for the curves. Micheletti has lost a little bit in the rear grip. And so he lost some valuable attempts for his first lap attempt. You see now Pietro Micheletti. It could be a good lap, but let's see how many times he lost to do that. And Micheletti is third. He's ahead of Rashidov and Godfrey. Not bad at all by Micheletti, while Perfido has set to the second fast lap time. And Andrea Marcella, well, I could go and just leave his onboard, his camera TV, because he won't change a thing. You will admire the master of work. 135.8. over 5 tenths ahead of your Perfido Micheletti, just of another league under Marcella. Meanwhile, Rashinov still in 5th. He's doing the best he can in Ford Mustang, really not suited well for this track. 7.5 depth between himself and Marcella. Only 10,000 of a second. Look at this, Marcella 135.6. He improved yet again. Lost forwards there from Andrea Marcella. Just of another fielder. We should invent the alien lobby for the drivers like him. Rashidov now onto the line, and he managed to put a respectable time. Second place and front row for the Russian, ahead of your Perfido and Micheletti. Head back to Correa for now. Who's 8th fastest. Behind him we have Will Friedman, who slotted down to P2012 after being overtaken by Ivanov in the Aston Martin. Correa now onto the line to see if he can manage to improve his 8th position. No, he can't. Will Friedman from behind, let's see. And he moves up into 6th place. We have 3 Ford Mustangs between 4th and 6th place. That's really incredible. Rashinov here, then the Geoffrey Godfrey, and then Will Friedman. That's really outstanding here. Under 2, look at now, 8 in the Aston Martin Vantage, the V8 version of 2019. But it's still reliable and fast, as Tudok proves itself. Last 2 minutes to qualify, last chance for the drivers. Micheletti getting closer and closer to Marcella pole time. Only 3 tenths now between himself and the 135.6 of the Porsche driver. Your Perfido moves along ahead of Micheletti in the front row. With Rashidov Godfrey just behind him, and Friedman still in 6th. Still trying to improve after a good previous lap. But he aborts it, so we were trying for one last time. We only have less than 1 minute left to qualifying. Freeman begins. Kalpuki will begin in a very short amount of time. And now Andrea Marcella, who so is a gap advantage of Micheletti and Perfido diminished lap after lap, but that's just now too little of a time to try improve anything. He only has 1 lap. Brandon Glover here, as we now are approaching the end of qualifying in 4, 3, 2, 1, and end of qualifying. Car number 911, Rashinov, is the first to cut the checker flag. That will be followed by, I believe, car number 296. Here's your Perfido. Micheletti manages to bounce back to 2nd place. Godfrey 4th, Rashinov 5th now. Luke Prentice moves up into 8th place. Good job also by him. Let's see now Brandon Glover in the Mustang. Can he get anywhere near the times of Godfrey, Rashinov and Friedman, who are now really assembling the Wonder Trio for Ford. And now it becomes a poker because Glover just lost himself between Rush and Ola. Great dive by the Britman. Let's see if anyone can disrupt the pocket. Ola does it, in fact. He moves ahead of Friedman. Pukki does not improve. Tudok, he cannot improve. Let's see Adam Sharpie and Gordon Brown. Brown is just in the pits. Adam Sharpie is the only driver who can make some improvements to his currently P14. Let's see Sharpie if he can move up from P14. No, he can't. He stays at P14, and that will equal to row 6 to row 7 start for the Lamborghini driver. But nothing changes, nothing will ever change, I believe, at this point. For the top of the standing, for the pole position, because Andrea Marcella claims another pole, 155.5, but the Porsche driver ahead of Pietro Micheletti, Samuele Di Perfido, a 1-2-3 for Italy, incredible race. The Geoffrey Goffroy in fourth, ahead of championship leader Ismail Rashov and Brendan Glover, Tolia Ola, Will Friedman, Kyle Pulkin, and Luke Prentice to round up the top 10. And watch out from the back also to Andrew Tudor, Alexander Fuchs, who have proven to be really fast, especially from Fuchs in the free practice. Then Ivanov, Sharpe, Correa, Brown, Prentice, King, Giannelli, Hagemans to round up the top 20. Then Quintero, Dan, Keller, Grace, Machado, Pospisil, Lincoln Bell, Calgin, Kosut, Dino, Sefontaine, Gierman, Schmakov, Hanley, Wood, Van der Waal, Lincoln, Colpitz, Hostel, Postel, and The Created. And so this is your race order for tonight's race of Taco Tuesday at Zandvoort. Will be round 5 of the championship, and it promises to bring us exciting battle. So do not miss this, because we'll be taking a short break, and then we'll be heading back on the grid for the start of round 5 of the Taco Tuesday championship. Stay tuned. And we're back on the starting grid of Zandvoort. What are the final moments before the full formation lap will be preceding the start of today's race. Reminder, it is 1 hour racing, one mandatory pit stop. We will open after the few laps, the first lap, maybe first 2 laps. And so all the drivers will be required to do that pit stop before the end of the race. And most important, they will be hoping to do right in the middle or at the end to try get more benefits to their races and to their strategy. So we're almost ready now. 30 seconds before the start of the formation lap here at Zandvoort. We're ready for what it will be the David De Jong dance. Thanks to FRL staff for that. And we're ready to see whether Andrea Marcella will claim a victory tonight to try to climb back in the championship hunt. If there will be any surprises behind it. And now we begin the formation lap. Of course, before we start, I just want to say once again, thank you for everyone who follows us, who really tuning up race after race of this season. You really are the MVP of our community, and you prove why this is one of the best places, one of the best community to race. And this grid of Taco Tuesday, where we have 40 drivers tonight on the starting grid, well, 39 plus Keller and also Correa, who will start from the pit lane. It proves about the success of the formula and the incredible popularity of the series among sim drivers from all around the world, from especially Europe, but also all around the world, because we have some Russians, some South Africans, some Americans. Sometimes we have also some Brazilians and some Australians. So this really is a testament of the great quality that it put into this league, into this platform. So if you really like all this, well, just subscribe to our channel, leave a like and the notification bell, and also support us on our Patreon, because that's where the money, the income comes to pay us commentators, to pay the servers, to pay for those events, to those leagues to be held. So that really helps us to deliver you this quality of streaming, of live broadcasting. And if you want to race with us maybe one day, if you want to join us, this family, just click on the Discord channel. We will see the link in the description below. And now we're ready to unleash all this horsepower and this flaming exhaust to round one, to the third one, the Tarzan, famous for the banking, for the challenges they present, especially at the start. And now it will see 40 cars, 40 approaching at high speed, trying to fight for position as we enter round 5 of this season of Assetto Corsa Competizione. We have Andrea Marcella pole position on the right on the track, then on the left, now right will be Pietro Micheletti, then all the others will wait for the green light, and the green flag is shown, and we are go for Zandvoort. Good start by Andrea Marcella, who managed to hold on Micheletti for P1. Micheletti will try to hold on the outside, but nothing to do. Watch out also by Perfido, who tries to get ahead of Micheletti, but it's being blocked by Italia, who goes wide into the grass. Perfido goes into the outside of turn 4, and again they're neck to neck, a little bit of nudge there, and Micheletti holds on. What a fight, and we're now going for a rush. They're already fighting. There are two Mattacks neck to neck at turn 6, 7, 8. That's really not the place to do. Oh, 2 wheels on the grass for Godfrey. There were really heavy risks there. Luckily, nothing happened there. But the big one only happened to take advantage of Andrea Marcella, who already is up 1.3 seconds ahead of Micheletti. Then your Perfido, Rashidov, Godfrey, Glover, Ola, Friedman, Fuchs moved up into 9th place. A good start by him. Then Dulok and Luke Prentice ahead of them, Ivanov and Sharpie and all of the others. While Kyle Pukin had a dreadful start because he's fallen down to P20 and now he has to watch back from Morgan Grace, who really is trying to overtake him on the outside on turn number 12. There's no room there, by the way. Hageman's trying to King. Also, welcome back to the Irish driver, and there's no here. Hageman stay back behind the King. And now they all proceed to the little train as Dramassera completes the first lap with a commanding lead already on Micheletti, Delio Perfido, Rashidov ahead of the fourth pair, and will try to attack the Perfido for third place. Remember that this is the championship leader we're talking about, so for Rashidov every point will count. With the ranking, then Wilfried was stuck behind the Lexus of Ola. We'll see Wolf Freeman try everything to force Ola into a mistake. Not happening though. Ola really doing everything he could, everything he can to prevent any attack. Wolf Freeman running out right now at turn number 9. He almost done it, but then turn 10 Ola has again the advantage. A little bit of contact there. Ola did like some cheeky move to try let Wolf Friedman lose some stability. And so far it seems like it worked because Ola blocks the line, blocks the entry of the chicane for Friedman. And so he's back into attack position. Ola stays in 7th place. While Rashidov could try maybe turn 1 to Tarzan or the Perfido, considering the top speed of the Mustang compared to the Ferrari driver, but he's a little bit too far behind. Nothing to do there. Meanwhile, behind him we see one Lamborghini going into the pit lane. He's got the Brown, while Friedman will try on Ola, fight for 7th place and turn 1,000, but Friedman does not have enough horsepower, enough grip, enough sheer will to get ahead on Ola at the exit of Townsend. And so it is still 8th place for Will Friedman, while Alexander Fuchs is holding Andrew Tudor, Luke Prentice and all of the others. At the midfield is completely packed, as you can see. And for example, we have also here Jack Prentice ahead of Giamnelli, and Victor Hageman's really doing his best to hold the King. Hageman's managed to overtake the King. We don't see that Kalle Pukinen really needed to gain some positions, to gain some points. P19 is not the position that's suitable for one that is in the top 5 of the championship. So he needs to make a move. Also because behind we saw Morgan Grace, who's really aggressive, really eager to try to settle back, try to fight back for the positions. Back with Friedman and Ola. Friedman exiting much faster than Ola at the last corner. Let's see now the Tarzan. Friedman will try once again on Ola. Ola is supposed to go wide to avoid any contact. Friedman looks like he's done it, but Ola resists. Can he hold it to? No, he can't. And Friedman manages to get past Ola and take 7th place with it. Good job by the Frenchman, who now will try to get rid of Ola and recovers the gap between the other 4 drivers of Rashidov, Godfrey and Glover. And look at this like snail of the pack that is following really close to each other. Back again with Hedgemas and King. Hedgemas overtook the Irish driver, but the McLaren really does not, he's not really tempting the place without the fight, so King will try again. Turn 11 and 12, but King has no room. Calipucci will try with a surprise move, like he will try on Leclerc or Russell almost. Still side by side, King stays ahead of Pulkinen. Nothing to do. Calipucci trying to make a move after overtaking Morgan Grace for P19. The finish driver though, it's a long way to try get it back. Let's see now some movement. Tulok going wide. He will say thank you very much. I will take the place. Tulok almost risking to losing it in the exit going wide here. The sharp on the win Gianelli. Oh, and Prentice almost lost it. Okay, King has collected Grace. Goes straight into it. And disaster. Also self-contained to be collected. And that's a really disaster for Self-Contained and for Sharpie and for Grace as well. That's really, Grace has been collected also by the Ferrari. That's not the return he was hoping for at the front bodywork. Is heavily damaged by Morgan Grace. Don't know if he'll be able to rejoin. He's back into the pits alongside car number 37, Sharpie. Grace is out. Grace is out already. No surprise there. And Adam Sharpe, he gets out of the vehicle as well. So 2 retirements already within the first 10 minutes of the race. That's a real shame. Meanwhile, Gordon Brown doing already the first mandatory pit stop. Maybe it was really smart to take this place. It's chaotic ahead. It will let to everyone to lose a lot of time. So I will mark my pit stop already and race with free track in an attempt to gain the most position possible. Let's see if the ground tactic will pay off. Because some drivers now, after what happened, have taken some heavy damage. Meanwhile, Marcolino will try to decide on the Tarzan on Andrew Carl again. The Russian trying everything with a switcheroo, trying to fight back on the Italian, but Marcolino managed to get P27. Great overtake, bold and brave. And another contact, it's a King. With Schumacher's, they both managed to stay on track. But these drivers are really maybe going a little bit overboard there. Reminder that if something happens ahead of them, then there's every risk that all of the other drivers will be collected behind, and there will be no room to avoid any accident, like it happened just 1 minute ago. Self-contained on the wall on the pit lane, and Brown has passed both of them. Just to say, up ahead, meanwhile, it's all clear, it's all very calm, no heavy fights, no really stressing the tires very much. They're all following each other. Andrea Marcello apart because it's really 4.2 seconds ahead of Micheletti. He's on another field. I repeated myself like a dozen times, but that's what Andrea Marcello it is currently. Meanwhile, back in the midfield, the back markers Pulkinen managing to go and take down, and take down is under attack on Emmanuel Machado. Booking up into P18. Now 1.4 seconds behind Lintonband. Currently is P17 in the McLaren. And you can see Emmanuel Machado really putting some pressure on them. It's not just a fight between a British driver and a Portuguese one, but it's also a fight between Japanese cars, Lexus against Honda. That's really like super GT stuff. And look at Emmanuel Machado pushing, and really doing some pressure on Dan. Look at Machado and Dan. Still trying to find a way. No luck so far. But we'll see if we'll manage to do so in the next couple of laps. Meanwhile, back up front, we see. Oh, look, Prentice almost risking to go straight into the wall. Little bit of grass gravel on the exit of turn 8, turn 7, sorry. And now you see that it's being reached by Alexander Fuchs and Daniel Ivanov. Ivanov trying on the outside of the chicane on the Fuchs. Fuchs covering it then very well. And look at how really they're pushing, especially Fuchs. Went into the curves on the inside of turn 11, which is not an ideal spot, but it doesn't matter because he really wants to attack Prentice and hold the position of Ivanov, and now Ivanov trying the same by putting two wheels onto the grass on the exit of the turn 14. Now Tarzan, but these drivers are going like to the same level of pace, so it would take a lot of effort and creativity to try to find a gap. Meanwhile, there's a yellow flag. Mike Austin lost it in the chicane. Imagine to restart. Lucky, nothing too much serious for Mike Austin, who continues the race so far. Look at it still with Ivanov Fuchs, and now also gaining on Ola, who's holding back. Look, Prentice for so long, it is a train, if I ever saw one. And we see now, oh, there's an attack now. Caleb Bookin on Little Ben, he tries to break the deadlock on Little Ben, but the British driver holds it all very well. Two wheels on the gravel though for the McLaren driver. We lose a lot of exit speed there on the main straight. Booking now getting on the safe straight, but already a stop and go penalty for speed and pit for Baza Pospin. That will cost it dearly. While Booking still trying on Linton Bell, but no luck this time for the Finnish driver, still in P18. While Brown has jumped ahead of Correa, Pospisi, Austin Cake, Martin Warner, Fontaine. So really good strategy so far by Gordon Brown, who has an immense advantage on Correa as well. So he might try to aim maybe for a top 10 if he continues his point. I really love the delivery because it looks like something would be like a neon or cyberpunk city, and really love the colors and the combinations. We also love about these drivers with their choices of official liveries and colors. It's so vibrant. You see that there are a lot of colors in this grid. I love when there are so many colors and so many designs to show. And you can watch an example of what used to be Formula 1 in the 2000 with like the multicolor grid and everything else. It was a time also when the world in general was more colorful and simple. Fuchs are going wide and Tarzan. Ivanov saying thank you very much. And Ivanov taking the opportunity to climb up to the top 10. Great job, great opportunistic move by the Bulgarian on the advantage. Now he will aim to try and attack on Prentice and Ola ahead of them. Bukinen managed also to overtake Lincoln Bell, and he managed to take 17th place. The comeback on number 51 continues to try and get as much points as possible, but Bukinen lost it almost in turn 7. Luckily though, he saved it. Back here, this group that is really tasty, that's really appetizing because there are so many cars and so many different types of cars and drivers and styles and really you can see now that Ola is really holding those cars well behind the trail. Ola is 7 tenths behind the Wolf Friedman. And watch out, look, Prentice, because Prentice goes into the pits. Prentice goes into the pits. He gets out of the train of Ola. So we aim for another cut. Watch out for when Luke Prentice will join. Also, of course, because this will be important because Gordon Brown is now turned 10. So it will be important to see where Jack Prentice will exit. No, Luke Prentice, sorry, will exit compared to Gordon Brown, who did the mandatory pit stop first than anyone else, but still, it's really doing could have done a strategic call that could really gain a lot of advantage. Luke Prentice still on the pit lane. Has got the brother, now it's a turn 13 and turn 14. Prentice now takes back to the track with a good margin on Gordon Brown, so it will be, I believe, P29 by Luke. But it will be like just 6-7 seconds ahead of Gordon Brown. So really Brown doing a great job, and if he manages to reach and hold the pace of Prentice, he could even try to really aim for the positions of those guys who are fighting for the top 10 spots. Even though now trying on Ola with a gimmick. Now dive bomb at the last possible moment. Even on Ola, he holds the inside. Ola resists and manages to defend really well. That was a bold, really bold, maybe too much bold move from Ivanov, but he managed to stick it without major contact. Even failing, he showed very good racecraft, as well as Ola, who managed to avoid the contact to resist on the outside line. Really great job by both of them. So I'll say it is only fair to get on board with Ivanov to see if he will succeed in the next attempt on Ola. On board with the Aston Martin of Ivanov. And Tulloch in pits. Tulloch goes to do his mandatory pit stop. While Ivanov continues his pressing, his forcing on Ola. But for now continues to hold on really well. But Andy Tulloch is into the pits. And now also Wood joins him in the pit lane. He will look practice. Let's see where he will end up. He has 5 seconds advantage over Gordon Brown. And you have to watch out because Tulloch was one of the drivers who was near him. Tulloch now and his pit stop. But he will be behind, of course, Luke Prentice as he passes now. So Luke Prentice is trying to extend the lead that he's going to get on those cars that were ahead of him after the pit stop. Oh, some problem for number 34 on turn 10. Was it 34? Let's see. Or was it just 4? I believe it was on 4 because it's no, maybe Linton Bell. There was a little bit of time on Pulkkinen. Pit stop also for Machado now. Machado into the pits. The little man will have to watch himself from down in the next. We did not see many mentions up front about we almost had like a free Ford Mustang. Where is Rashidov? It's behind Rashidov. Has lost ball places on Godfrey Glotzler and on Friedman as well. Rashidov made a mistake. And now Godfrey is up into 4th place. That's really interesting because that is really interesting towards the championship standings. Because Marcella, Micheletti and Godfrey will be all gaining points on him. Don't know what happened with Miris by Rashidov. But seems like a little tap, and he also went wide. I want to believe. But Stefano Giannelli. But the old tail Fuchs having a slow exit into the other. Oh, contact! What was that? In the main straight, Giannelli going into the wall in the pit lane, pit box. But still, another contact, bam, into the barriers. What was that again with Oda? Oh, with Fuchs, sorry. And there with Giannelli, that is really race compromised. Don't know who was at fault there, but they were clearly not paying any attention whatsoever. I fear it was Fuchs who was trying maybe too hard to defend himself. But what does not change is that Giannelli's race is now ruined because he has a heavy damage to the front body work and will be forced to go into the pits to repair the damage. And even though he will claim his mandatory pit stop, he will lose a lot amount of time. Daniel Ivanov now into the pits, already done the mandatory pit stop. Where he ends up compared to Prentice, Prentice is ahead. Tulloch is ahead. Brown is behind, just behind Ivanov. Really great strategy call by Gordon Brown, who manages now to get a lot amount of time, and now he is in the fight for the top 10 spot. Pit stop now for Geoffrey Godfrey. This is important because it was the leading Ford Mustang stopping. Fuchs now stops as well after the contact with Giannelli. Rodriguez. Meanwhile, up ahead, they still continuing. Micheletti now behind Glover, but really getting closer and closer on the British driver in the Mustang. And both are behind Mario Machado, who is seeing blue flag after blue flag in attempt to let him overtake. Let him overtake the pair of Glover and Micheletti, fighting for now for third place in a podium spot. And Fuchs, stop and go penalty. That's really gonna cost them dearly. With Terra Giannelli also into the pit. I already can tell that Giannelli will have a much longer pit stop than Quinter's one, as he already restarts. He's ahead of Glinken. Andrea Marcella into the pits, as well as Pietro Micheletti. Really important moment here. And Marcella is restarted behind Giannelli, who is almost lapped by Andrea Marcella now. See where Marcella ended up ahead of car number 33, so it is ahead of Richard Gearman. 3:11 in the country, no, 3:10 considering Micheletti has done the pit stop as well. That is rejoined now just ahead of car number 181 of Schmakovs. It is just behind Geoffrey Godfrey. The undercut is really powerful here on Zandvoort. So I believe some drivers will take note for the next time the FRL paddock will take visit at Zandvoort. We see another car stopped, car number 32-1, it's Machado. Machado having some problems, and so stopped on the pit lane. Too bad for him, really too bad. Machado not losing any more time. He already passed Little Bell for P9. He does not know what to take any risk. And he wanted to take a commanding win tonight at Zandvoort. Same style as Lando Norris did 2 years ago in the house of Max Verstappen. Richard Gearman into the pits. As we see now, Pietro Micheletti really trying to get closer. Geoffrey Godfrey halfway of the race. Marcella is still your virtual leader, but for now, until their pit stop will come, Samuel Pervido is first ahead of Brendan Glover. And Mir Ismail Rashidov, who's having a little bit of a tumble after a mistake that left him behind the four drivers which was ahead at the time of the mistake. And what happened to Friedman? Friedman was like the upper hand, and now it's done a long pit stop. Rashidov in the pits as well as Glover. Let's see if Ola will follow them. Yes, Ola will follow them. It's like I predicted. They will all be waiting in the midway point of the race to come into the pits and do refuel and change the tires. That's the way to go for those 1 hour race. Coppins into the pit as well. Rashidov, Glover are completely the pit stop. Well, they will end up. They end up Glover ahead, Rashidov behind Gordon Brown. No, that was not Gordon Brown, sorry, I believe that was Godfrey. Yeah. Roberto into the pit lane as well. Let's see what will Jack Prentice do. If he will go into the pit, so will continue and take the provisional lead of the race while he is busy defending from Wojciech Heijmans. Prentice continues, so he will inherit the race leader. And Heijmans and Kalle Pulkkinen. Stop and go remove for Fuchs. Finally gonna join the track. We'll wait and feel like forever. Tudok and Ivanov neck to neck at turn 13. And Tudok will overtake Bang. A little bit of banging there between the two Aston Martin Vantage drivers. But Tudok having the best on Ivanov. Look at Gordon Brown trying to take the advantage. To take one position up for grabs, but look at the braking of Ivanov, who resists to the Scotsman in the Lamborghini. But Ivanov still lost position on Andrew Tudok. Something went wrong to his pit stop. Oh, again, Ivanov and Tudok. They're really not done yet. Brown could take any advantage again. Try to move from left to right, right to left. Try to take any advantage. Will try on the outside of the chicane. That's a bold one for Gordon Brown. He tried, but there was no room whatsoever. Really hard to take an overtake here against those drivers of cars who are really fast and heavy. While Brown's Huracan is snippy, light, but lots of tendency on the oversteer. Dan Schumacher would into the pit lane for the mandatory pit stop. Prentice, Heijmans and Pulkkinen still on track, still with the mandatory pit stop to complete. And Pulkkinen just behind Heijmans. Let's see if some of them will return to the pit lane now, or if they will continue. Prentice decided enough is enough, so it's calling a quit and doing his mandatory pit stop. That is only Wojciech Heijmans and Kalle Pulkkinen. Heijmans in the provisional lead. And, oh, look at that again on the midfield with all the triangle. Gordon Brown, Brown was so near to pass the Aston Martin. Now Ola takes advantage and Ola moves ahead of Brown for P14. We have to watch where Jack Prentice will rejoin the track, because this group of numerous cars is really approaching by faster and faster. We have Callaghan into the pit lane, Prentice with a pit stop done, but he will rejoin behind the spare, so behind even Brown in 30th place. No, it was P14, sorry. Let's see if there is some new comments, some new interactions. Not quite, still only 4 spectators for now, but it is what it is, especially at Zandvoort, a track where it's not easy at all to overtake drivers, especially those racing cars that are getting larger and larger. And this does not apply to Formula 1 specifically, but also to other categories like GT3 or Formula 2, Formula 3. Still, this is a track that requires really great precision, great calm, and patience. Patience to not mess up, to not make a mistake that could ruin your race and the other one of your teammates. Kyle Busch is now into the pit lane. And we're now 21 minutes and 32 seconds before the end of the 1 hour race. Oh, tries to leave it over here to abort the last minute. The trying on the blue lines, especially the outside, turn 3. But no fortune so far. Edgemans into the pits, so Andrea Marcella takes back the lead of the race. And Goffroy is second, and Micheletti is third, with Micheletti already hot on the tail of the black and yellow for the Mustang. Not easy for Micheletti to try to find a way of Goffroy, because the Ford Mustang, the horsepower, like that's the main point, the main advantage of the Ford Mustang alone, and really that makes it difficult, if not almost impossible, track like this to overtake some Ford Mustangs. Top and go moved for Callaghan. And you can see Micheletti still following very shortly Geoffrey Goffroy for second place. And really struggling to find a way to create a gap to attack. Oh, and now he goes into the curbs. Let's see how things go into the back. Richard Gearman is P25 ahead of Keller and Fuchs. Fuchs falling down to P27 after the drive-through penalty. So Richard Gearman is not having the greatest of his home races so far. struggling, and now behind the Schumacher, trying to get closer to ignite the fight for P24. He's going from bad to worse for Michel van der Waal, who is currently P34 ahead only of Blinky, Giannelli, Machado. Blinking is just 5 laps down, Giannelli 6 laps down, and Machado 7 laps down, so not the best for now for the Dutch colors. Back with Micheletti, Godfrey. Micheletti was flashing down to Godfrey. Maybe it was not okay with something that happened. He was maybe referring to a lap car, the Ferrari, the Audi behind of Fuchs. Someone went off, car number 179. What happened? It was Keller who had a problem at turn number 6. And he lost place to Alexander Fuchs. Meanwhile, Godfrey still holding second place on Micheletti. Another perfect is joining the party, but it's really tight to be close now. There's also a lot of traffic ahead of Godfrey, so this might spice things up with Gilman and others. So who knows what will happen. So let's jump on board Micheletti to see what will happen. You also set the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1 minute 37.5.0 for the Italian driver of the Mercedes. You can see how Godfrey really using every possible tactic to defend on Micheletti, taking also the slipstream of the Scasa who is about to lap. The traffic did not anything much to spice things up because Michelotti is still far to try and move on goal for a second place. You have to watch out also for Perfido, who is fourth. And like more easy try and contact! Perfido touching Michelotti and spinning him into the gravel. And Perfido continued like nothing ever happened. Michelotti takes back to the track, but he's now behind Brendan Glover and will not be happy at all about Perfido, who continues, so no fair play at all, even though he will say that Michelotti closed the door in front of him. That would be material for a ticket, because I fear Michelotti will present a ticket for those stewards of FRL. Let's go, head back to Kalle Pulkkinen, who like on the Brown managed to climb back the grid, and now he's up to P11 while Brown is P12, and Pulkkinen is trying to get Ivanov to climb on the top 10. So 11 minutes and a few seconds before the end of the race. The track has begun to be falling obscurity because it's now cloudy, really cloudy above the sky, and there's a risk of concrete rain in 20 minutes or so. It should happen well after the race, but still it's a sign that something is coming. It will happen, but it will be too late. And for now, Stevens are continuing on their merry way to the end of the race, looking to try everything to reach the duo of the Aston Martin advantages of Tulloch and Ivanov, who are fighting for 9th place. But Tulloch really doing well so far to defend Ivanov and Pulkkinen. Ivanov tries to on the dive bomb, but turn 9, but nothing to do there. And look at Pulkkinen trying on the outside of the way, trying to get advantage of the pair of Aston Martin, bouncing it out. And it's still an impasse for now between Dudo Kivarov and also Pulkkinen. Well, Micheletti didn't manage to hold on to Goffrey, now lost it to Glover. And now risking to losing the position also of Mir Ismail Rashidov, who for championship things has to. Oh, someone really went to cut off all there. Who was that? Maybe a Ferrari. Who was that of Lope? It is Loperfido. Loperfido lost it. Lost quite a time and. No, it is Loperfido. Look at Micheletti. Oh, going a little bit wide. The mistake of Loperfido allows Geoffrey Goffrey to get the third place, but maybe there was some contact at Goffrey. Oh my lord. Goffrey has slowed down to get Loperfido, to make Loperfido go through. Contact between Loperfido and Rashidov. The race was like a little bit more now, but it is now to really exploding now. Between those lap cars and some chaotic things are happening with Goffrey now even behind Rashidov. And that does not go in the way of plan for Geoffrey Goffrey. Brandon Glover now moved up into second place. Micheletti third. And now Roberto Rashidov back at it again. Well, Goffrey stuck behind those lap cars. Was still really fighting heavy. The 10 minutes will arrive a small rain, but it will be too late for them because the race will be over by then. Look at that, look at the amount of traffic, really traffic. And, really incredible. I hope you all still see it because it is really incredible and it is still now high tension between those drivers. A little bit of clear for them, but still there's tension that something could go even really wrong for them. Prentice on Ivanov on the outside, turn 13. 2 wheels onto the gravel. Ivanov resists. Holds on for P12, but Prentice is not giving up. Well, do look at Pulkkinen with Hageman again. Hageman on the outside of the Tantan. Can he hold it? No, he can't. As well as Prentice, so they both retain their position. So good fight now in the final stages of the race, but still nothing to change things. Apart from the mistake of both. They'll go Freyus now onto the gravel. He lost now contact with Rashidov. That's really incredible. Hoping there are not really too much polemics when the driver will be heading back to this called paddock. You see now where Andrea said is really too far ahead for any concerns from us. Really looks like a Sunday stroll for him, and ahead of him we have another battle in the back markers. Who was it? If I managed to take it. Not sure who it was. Maybe Fuchs on Schumacher's? No, not quite. Not quite. Sorry if somehow I bore you, but this race now is just trying to give us some emotions, but really it's hard. Really, it's just hard for all of the drivers to really get a real chance except for some mistakes and some contacts. There's nothing really happening there, and the fear of rain coming might influence on that, because we just now 3 minutes before the checkered flag, and another black line going wide. And it is, I believe, of King. Yes, it is. King going all the way wide and losing a lot of time for his fortune. Also, there's really too far back to concern, and will be too far back to take any advantage. And again, with some battles or attempts from the back, Marcus Wood on hand from the outside, and they hold it.
The pit window is closing now.
Pit window closed now, so let's see who will get it right, who will get it wrong. They were waiting for the rain to maybe try to present a new scenario for the last laps, while Andrea Marcella has lapped Emmanuel Machado, and is leading with a huge amount of advantage. We have to see also the laps in 135, 136 we can end maybe. What will it do? 150, 139, 48, let's see. I fear will be 2 laps, not 1, or maybe 1. I don't know sincerely. 138, 37, 36, it will be tight. It will be tight. It will be really tight. This could be the final lap for Andrea Marcella. Let's see how we did those final laps. 135.8, so it's really on the edge there. And Micheletti really standing by headline or handling to get out of the way, because Dario Pefito is already coming by to try to get around 2, as well as he's being by Rashidov. Can something happen to really be the blockbuster of the race? The Pefito trying on the outside, Micheletti holding back, Rashidov trying on the inside. There was no room there, but Rashidov still tried. That's how almost definitely he is 4 points for the championship. Even though he will gain on Godfrey, but he will be losing out on Micheletti, and especially on Andrea Marcella. Meanwhile, back up Pukin and Hagemans, Pukin and all the Hagemans. There's still nothing to happen there. But we watching down with Rashidov and Perfido. 10 seconds. And the see Marcelo is now on the final corner. 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's the checkered flag. Andrea Marcella takes it for just 1 second. And that means Andrea Marcella is declared the winner of race 5 of the championship at Zandvoort. Glover will finish second. Micheletti will hope to finish third. But who knows what will happen with Jopefner and Rashidov. They all know now that this was the final race, so this will be the final opportunity to make any kind of moves. But it's just too little, too late. Not as close as they hope to find any room for any moves. So Micheletti will claim third place. Perfido in fourth. Rashidov will salvage 5th place ahead of Geoffrey Godfrey and of Luke Prentice. There will be Tariola in 8th place ahead of Andrew Tulloch and Caleb Pulkin. And no, Caleb Pulkin emerges at the end. Right at turn 12:30 to get on Tulloch, manages to get other points with P9. Great move by Caleb Pulkin. We managed to finish ahead of Aston Martin Vantage, who maybe have some problems, and now Hagemas will try on Tulloch, and he just misses out on the top 10 by 20,000 of a second. Then even on 12 ahead of Jack Prentice, and Gordon Brown 14, Little Bear 15, Dan in 16, then Dave Coppins, Coswood, Hanley, Wood, Schumacher, Correa, Gilman, Keller, Lilo, King, Austin, and all of the others, and that's the end of the race. Not a blockbuster, not one that we all remember in couple of days, but certainly one intense fight that kept the drivers on the edge of the seat for the entire of the race. We're hearing some revs. We have maybe Dan Prentice or some others. Maybe we have. Do we have some? Let's see if we have some Dan. We have Dan here. We have yeah, King doing some donuts there on the end of the main straight, in the entry of turn 1, Tazan. And Micheletti has stopped on the ground there because he just wants to stay alone with his man. So it's time for closing. Few short recap what happened here. Andrea Pasella, another pole position, and the second victory of the season in Taco Tuesday to climb up back on this championship challenge. Glover in second place, Micheletti third, the Perfect Rashidov, Godfrey, Prentice, Ola Pukia, Tudok to round up the top 10, then Hejimas, Ivanov, Prentice, Brown, Nito Bell, Dune, Kopitz, Quintero, Holtu, Handy, Wood, Chmakov, Fuchs, Correa, Gierman, Kenner, Nino, King, Oster, Postel, Calgin, Friedman, only 32, Sefote, Van der Wall, Gitti, Gianelli, Machado, the boss finish up, Grace, who unfortunately did not manage to see the checker flag. As the rain now decides to fall down the Zandvoort, it is time to close our live streaming of tonight. I'm Andrea Mattavelli, and I thank you to everyone who jumped on board to commentate alongside me and to watch all the 60 minutes of intense action at Zandvoort. But for now, it's all. We'll see you again in 2 days for Multiclass Thursday. Same track at Zandvoort. Goodbye.